It's time for a brand new episode of Capital City News, your connection to Salt Lake City government. I'm your host, Poonam Kumar. We'll be interviewing Clayton Scrivner, the city's civic engagement manager, and our History Minute is all about Capitol Theater and the fire that devastated it in 1949. But before we take our trip to the past, though, we'll have our legislative update. The City Council discussed a proposal that would amend zoning regulations in the Sugar House streetcar corridor, including limits to building height, commercial uses on upper floors, limiting building types on some streets, and other items. A public hearing on the updated proposal will be scheduled. The council also reviewed homeless issues and police services in the Rio Grande neighborhood. Members heard from Salt Lake County about its use of the collective impact approach to studying the countywide homeless issue. The City of Salt Lake announced it has begun posting on Nextdoor, the private social network for neighborhoods. The City Council, the Police Department, and the city's public engagement team will use Nextdoor to build stronger, safer communities with the help of Salt Lake City residents. It's all part of a three-way effort to improve citywide and neighbor-to-neighbor communications. More than 70 neighborhoods have already launched Nextdoor websites. The City Council recently adopted a joint resolution with Mayor Ralph Becker renaming the Jordan River Oxbow at 900 South the Fred and Isla Rose Fife Wetland Preserve in honor of their contributions to the community. Members of the Fife family were in attendance at a recent meeting to accept the resolution. Oktoberfest Community Block Party celebrated the opening of Salt Lake City's protected intersection and the completion of the 200 West Street improvements downtown. Local leaders, including Mayor Becker, representatives from UDOT, and leaders from Salt Lake County attended. The protected intersection was one of the first in the country and makes the intersection much safer for all users. The airport revealed the proposed designs for the new Salt Lake City International Airport Terminal. The passengers terminal complex, parking garage, and related facilities will all be completely rebuilt. The three aging terminals will then be replaced with one large, modern, and earthquake-resistant building with ample capacity to fulfill the airport's role as a major hub. The new design will enhance efficiencies for passengers and airport operations, create a visually engaging gateway to Salt Lake City and the region, and allow the airport great flexibility in adapting to potential future changes in the industry. Civic engagement is something important to both the mayor's office and the city council, which is why they brought on board Clayton Scrivner, the city's civic engagement manager. He's here to tell us more about what he does and why it's important.
My name is Clayton Scrivner. I'm the Civic Engagement Manager for Salt Lake City. So the Civic Engagement team is a three-member team in the city that is charged with raising the capacity of residents to be involved in the city process. Most importantly, the decision-making process at the city. Well, I think it's an exciting time to be both in government and to be a resident in the city because the opportunity to be involved in government, especially in city government, has never been easier. Most specifically because the city's being more proactive than ever as far as going to residents and asking them to be involved in the process. But also with the advent of new technology, being involved in city decision making can happen anywhere. Avenues of engagement are being opened all over the place for residents to be involved, especially when it comes to technology, laptop, phone, social media, and also government is really charged now with going to residents and making it going into communities and saying we want to bring this to your community and we are here early on in the process and we want to hear what you have to think before we make a decision on a variety. I mean, the city does so much. There's so much opportunities for engagement and so many moving parts to a municipal organization. The civic engagement team wants to make sure that through all the departments of the city, we're showing good faith to our residents and saying, we want to do this, but we really want your voice to be heard during the decision-making process. The ultimate portal into the city is slcgov.com, okay? And there, it depends on what your needs are. So one of the big technological advances that the civic engagement team started was the service request and the SLC mobile app that allows people to, via technology, log any complaint or any concern they might have with the city and have it go real time to the people that are charged with solving problems. That's one way to get involved. That's just for just a simple community concern. Now, if you want to talk about decision making, we have Open City Hall, which is a forum, an online forum, where we present topics that are going through the legislative process or the administrative process that we need feedback on, and people can go there and express their opinions on certain subject matters. There's the more traditional stuff like open hearings at the city council, but I think the new trend is really bringing these kind of forums and going where people really are, people that are going to need to hear about what the city is doing, like festivals, community events, community councils, and really the government going to people rather than expecting the people to come to us. So that's either through technology or actually us physically going and being present in the community.
And now it's time for our History Minute.
The Capitol Theater has been a fixture in Salt Lake City since it opened in 1913. Originally part of the Orpheum Theater chain, its design was modern and was used as a vaudeville theater, but motion pictures quickly changed the market. In the 1920s, it was renovated to show movies and did so for many years. For a theater at the time, it was incredibly safe from fire, boasting 30 exits, asbestos curtains, and fire sprinklers. But that didn't stop fires from happening. On July 4th, 1949, a fire broke out in the basement of the theater. 600 patrons watching a Rita Hayworth double feature were whisked safely from the theater, while the assistant manager sent a pair of ushers, Herbert Schoenhart and 17-year-old Richard Duffin, to the basement to investigate the fire. They carried fire extinguishers and tried to put out the flames. Schoenhart went back up to report to the manager, while Duffin stayed behind to fight the flames. While he was there, a pair of oxygen tanks in the basement exploded, trapping Duffin in the basement and making him the only casualty of the fire. Over the years, the Capitol Theater has become the home of live theater and ballet performances, but some claim the ghost of young Dickie Duffin still haunts the theater, unplugging extension cords, flickering lights, and slamming doors.
We've come to the end of another episode of Capital City News, and we've done our best to keep you up to date. Make sure to keep watching and stay tuned on what's going on in the city. For Capital City News, I'm Poonam Kumar.